And these were the type of things that kind of glare when you look at his absence, right, with these athletic quarterbacks. And you think about this pass rush for the Dallas Cowboys. They had some success, but a lot of football now, and RC knows this as well, is your ability to convert and chase. And I'm going to bring that up all season long. You think about the Myles Garrett. You think about Micah Parsons now in Green Bay. You think about these elite rushers with the speed and the ability to even corral quarterbacks when they do break outside the pocket. That was the thing that was missing from this defense last night, is having that one guy that can get on his horse and chase down a quarterback like Jalen Hurts and negate a third down conversion, which ended up playing a huge factor in this football game, especially with his legs.
Let's talk about what was missing from the defense on the other side. Obviously, Jalen Carter is an incredibly unique player, right? I mean, his loss loomed large, but you mentioned over the highlight, they just kept targeting Adoree Jackson over and over. What are your concerns about this defense going forward?
Listen, we knew the entire offseason who was going to play opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell, as a rookie, was one of the best cornerbacks in all of the league. And Adoree Jackson won the job. They tried Keely Ringo in the preseason, but what I saw last night was, whether it was CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, in the most important moments, they went to the guy that Adoree Jackson was covering. And we're going to see that for the entire season. Listen, you do not want to be the village bicycle where everybody gets a ride. And so now when you're playing these teams who have elite 1Bs or have elite number 2 receivers, Adoree Jackson is going to be locked on those guys in one-on-one situations, and he will be the target. Vic Fangio is going to have to figure out a way to roll coverage, play double, and allow Quinyon Mitchell to go one-on-one with maybe a number 2 to alleviate some of the stress on Adoree Jackson. And don't get me wrong, Marcus, we all know, and you know this as well, Mina, a little rush from Jalen Carter where Dak Prescott could have some people around his feet may help a little bit as well.
Man, I just keep going back to the village bicycle and an image of Marcus and Mina on a bicycle. One of my favorite
at Disney.
That's my dog.
One of my favorite photos of all time.
Big wheels.
But Mina, let's go back to Dak Prescott. He looked like the Dak of old. I mean, if you're the Cowboys, what do you take away from that performance last night?
I mean, I'm encouraged by the play of the whole offense. Dak Prescott, I thought, was phenomenal, aggressive, accurate. But beyond that, you saw kind of what we expected to see the second they traded for George Pickens, which is this Dallas Cowboys passing attack is going to be a problem. Because they have 2 number 1 receivers, they were able to attack Adoree Jackson, as Ryan alluded to, because the Eagles sacrificed Quinyon Mitchell to George Pickens for much of the game. We're going to see that a lot. We're going to see a lot of defenses play with light boxes the way Philadelphia did. That's going to open up things on the ground the way it did last night. And the other thing I liked, and I know Marcus Buster loved this, the modernization of the offense under Brian Schottenheimer. So much pre-snap motion, action in the backfield that they use to displace defenders, create space for those wide receivers. I know moral victories don't exist in football, but if I'm a Cowboys fan, I am encouraged by what I saw from the offense.
Yeah, I mean, we were just so obsessed with this Micah Parsons thing that I don't think anybody really noticed all the good things that were happening there under Schottenheimer. Back, and what a bizarre start to the season. Right before the first play from scrimmage last night, just 6 seconds into the game, Dak Prescott said he had to spit when he was talking to Tyler Booker, and Jalen Carter was nearby and asked Dak if he spit at him. Carter quickly spat back at Prescott. He was immediately ejected just moments after kickoff, and both players spoke about it after the game. Take a listen.
You know, it was a mistake that happened on my side. It just won't happen again. Just not being able to start the game, even finish the game, just me up. But we'll get it better. It won't happen again.
I was just looking at him. I was right here by the 2 linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman, and I just spit ahead. And he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" And at that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like we're about to play.
Yeah, so the Eagles lose their best defender right from the get-go. How would you characterize, RC, what you saw last night from Carter?
Well, I think, first off, you showed a large level of immaturity, right? And you also have to understand the lack of respect that shows for any human that you would spit on them. And even if you're asking Dak Prescott the question, hey, did you spit on me? That means that, or did you spit at me? That means he ain't spit on you. And you obviously know that that is something that you can't retaliate against. And so now when Jalen Carter spits on Dak Dak Prescott, he shows a level of disrespect that gets him kicked out of a game, a level of disrespect for the game that may have him taken off the field next week as well, but you let your entire team down. When we watch the time Dak Prescott had in the pocket, when you look at the way they were able to run the ball in between the tackles, it was because Jalen Carter made a decision that took him away from his team. So it was a show of lack of respect for Dak himself and the game of football.
Yeah, it's also impulse control. I teach my kids all the time, like, you could build a lifetime of credibility and make a stupid decision for 30 seconds, and it can ruin everything you've built up until that point. And hopefully Jalen Carter can go further and learn from this. But learning from this means you don't do stupid things anymore, because this was absolutely stupid. I don't want anybody to misconstrue that, even though me and RC are talking about the lesson that you can learn through this. Control your impulses. Be a professional. These are the things that we talk about. So as he goes further in his career, he's a phenomenal player. Nobody can take that away from him, which also should tell him the camera is always on you, big fella. People are always going to be paying attention to what you're doing. You have to learn, move forward from this. I don't think it's anything that we need to beat him up over for the rest of his career or the rest of the season, but he has to control his impulse, not only to be available for his team, but it carries over into life as well. And hopefully he can start putting his best foot forward as he moves forward from this.
Yeah, and we've all heard about it, the league's emphasis on sportsmanship. We saw Nolan Smith Jr. get a 15-yard penalty for taunting. So it's going to be interesting to see, does this action potentially result in a suspension of some kind as the Eagles travel to Kansas City for a